it.
He watched me review our review. So that's what I was doing before the show started. I was watching our review of the Switch 2. It's going up tomorrow. And there was one point where he was like, which is when I gave my thoughts on Mario Kart World. I didn't really elaborate during the Switch 2 review because I really felt like with a device like the Switch 2, there's so much breadth for what you can talk about that you kind of have to pick a lane.
I think it didn't make a ton of sense to go super in-depth on Mario Kart World.
And the lane that we picked was a PC guy's perspective.
Sure.
Which has kind of been our shtick with Nintendo consoles for as long as I can remember us making videos about them.
Yeah.
And so, we talked about what we like about the hardware. We talk about the comparisons. PC guys, we're all about, what's the gen over gen improvement? How does it compare to the other options that are out there? We talk about a lot of that stuff. What about the game marketplace? We get into the stuff that, as PC gamers, either we take for granted or we, look at longingly like exclusive content or whatever, right? So I just made this super offhand comment that is, Mario Kart World. Yeah. Maybe hot take, not really enjoying it. And okay, why don't you go first?
So I was a extreme enjoyer of Mario Kart 8, and I'm not actually even talking about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which is the same thing but on Switch. I'm talking about Mario Kart 8 on Wii U. I played the heck out of it. Fantastic game. Liked it a ton.
Literally got to the point where he was so sweaty at it that he had to play not during North American evening. He had to line up his playtime with like
Japan
when Japanese players were online.
It was like the only ranked match I could find.
You're an actual
was
nerd.
Sick. It was so much fun.
You are an actual
I really
nerd.
enjoyed that era. I had specific songs I would listen to because they were just in my playlist at the time. And it has turned out that like even years later, if those songs come on, my brain's just like,
Mario Kart.
It's Mario Kart time.
Blue shell. Watch out for the blue shell.
Yeah. And like, it was fun. But then I didn't play for many years. Mario Kart World gets announced and I'm like, oh man, it could be fun to like get into a Mario Kart game again, all that kind of stuff. I played it for probably like a couple hours and then was like, I'm going to take a break and go do other stuff. And then I don't think I picked it back up again. I ended up putting a different game in my Switch and playing that.
I think I might have fundamentally not understood what the game was when I got excited about it. So I have never played a Forza Horizon game. So I didn't really like when people were comparing it to that, or even if they're comparing it to it now or not comparing it to it. I don't really know. I saw people kind of making those comparisons and I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting, but it didn't really mean much to me. But what I did pick up on is that it's open world and there's like stuff to do. And my assumption was that there would be some kind of a like thread to follow through this world, maybe. Like Breath of the Wild is open world.
Right.
But there's a story.
There's a guide.
And there's like stuff that you might want to do. And so my immediate confusion before I had even done a race yet, was I got to the title menu and I was like, where's the campaign? I was like, and that's not, okay, be fair to me, okay? That is not a completely out there assumption. I mean, Smash Bros. Brawl had a campaign. It's a pretty weak campaign. You just move around on a world map and unlock characters. It's a fighting game campaign.
Yeah.
But for crying out loud, it had one.
There was something. Mario Kart 8 didn't have a campaign either.
Fair enough, but I mean, it's an open world Mario Kart game. Was it
You'd maybe expect something?
Was it completely crazy of me to think, okay, there's some kind of like campaign or something?
Usually the campaign, I understand this is not equivalent at all, but the campaign in Mario Kart games is usually getting first in all the different modes and all the different things and then unlocking all the stuff.
So anyway, but then I was like, okay, but hold on a second, like open world game, where Grand Prix,
Knockout or whatever?
Knockout, like online, whatever type. Yeah. Where even is the open world? It's like buried in one of the like sub menus at the bottom. And that was my hint that this might just
They didn't care about that so much.
This might just be racing.
marketing kind of ran with that a little bit too hard.
Now, here's what I will say. Here's what I will say. From a purely, on the surface, from a race, just gameplay perspective, I actually love the direction they've taken the maps. Wait, I will get there.
Oh, no, yeah.
Wait, I will get there. And I start tracks, excuse me.
Oh.
Terrible.
Wow.
I actually love the direction they've taken the tracks. I found the Mario Kart 8 tracks a little bit too effect everywhere. I can't even tell which of these upcoming surfaces is even the one I'm supposed to be driving on, because we're going to go this way and then now we're like upside down. And I found it extremely disorienting as someone who doesn't know life the game.
Yeah, but that's fair.
To even know what direction to go.
Whereas you had those like magnetic wheel things, which
I did not love.
I enjoyed, but I can see how that would be annoying.
Mario Kart World is very gravity goes this way for the most part. There are still areas that I think you could find kind of confusing. Like some of the transitions, you turn into a wave rider. And some of the transitions between land and water, you go in the water. And it's like, okay, that actually is like kind of stupid. But in general, I like the direction they've gone. And so I would probably still buy it just to have it on my TV when people come over. But
that's a thing.
But a game that I'm just going to like sit and play, I don't feel a sense of accomplishment that matters to me from finding a white version of Yoshi by doing challenges in the open world thing. Like I did. I went and I like...
You can also do that not open world.
Yeah, though. I got a hamburger or something.
Like you can do that on normal tracks doing normal races.
Yeah.
It doesn't really incentivize. Well, maybe there's probably certain things that has to be.
Some people are super into it and like that's fine, but like cosmetics have never been super meaningful to me, so I just didn't really like care about it. And so I just kind of I did like 3 of the Grand Prix. I 3-starred 2 of them at 150cc and then 2-starred another one. I've been told that apparently it's hard. Elijah's like having trouble with it or something. So before my meal arrived at IHOP, I had gold trophied 2 Grand Prix at 150cc, and I was like, this is like oh man.
I was just trying. Honestly, I didn't even do any Grand Prix. I was doing knockout, and I think I first placed like half the maps or something. I haven't even tried.
Okay, people are saying it's just a skill issue for Elijah, so maybe that's okay. Maybe that's something.
Yeah.
But anyway.
He tries.
After a little while, I was like, okay, what now? I could go online, but realistically, I'm not going to know life this game enough to be competitive online. And it's just, I don't care. And especially I don't care because of this comment that, oh man, who left it? Shoot. I accidentally scrolled and I don't remember exactly what they said. But one of the first things, here it is, from Hathos, is Mario Kart World is so good. The skill ceiling is so high now with the wall riding, the rail grinding, and the item aiming. And that's actually the reason that I probably don't think I could ever get into it. Because I feel like it has become the kind of game that that you would be better off watching 10 hours of YouTube videos than playing 10 hours of the game if you wanted to get better. And I'm just not into it. It's very meta heavy. Like people are already like shaving minutes off of times. And it's like
when I was going hyper sweat with on Wii U with Mario Kart 8, I would just like practice. I would do, you just play ranked matches online and you'll see what other people do sometimes. You'll notice like, oh, that line's really good, or oh, I didn't actually notice that shortcut before, or whatever. And you just kind of grow. And if you got really, really sweaty, you could do time trials and go against the person who has number 1 and try to like follow them and figure that stuff out. Time trials don't always transfer to real races because there's no items and all that other kind of stuff. There's certain risks you don't want to take if there could be a blue shell or a red shell or something coming. But it was like playing the game is how I got better at the game. So cool. I also don't want to sit and watch 10 hours of YouTube videos to get better. Wall riding for me just completely broke it. I didn't look into the game a ton before I bought my Switch because I was like, it's Mario Kart, I'm going to get Mario Kart anyways. And I'm still happy that I have it for the party game aspect, like you were talking. And I just hope that whenever there's party games, people don't grind Mario Kart, because anybody who does wall riding at all will completely break the experience for everyone.
Yep.
And that's why, like, the second I saw wall riding was in, and I was like, okay, maybe it just makes it so that, like, if you ride up on a bank or something, it's not as bad. And then I noticed how it works, and I was like, game over.
So basically
it's done.
My issue with Mario Kart 8 is, like, on the surface gone, because it's very clear which way gravity goes, which addresses that. But once we get a little bit deeper, it's actually amplified like 10x. Because my issue is that it's not obvious where you're supposed to drive. And so to me, so to the people who want it, like, it's the same reason that Luke and I played, I think, like half a dozen rounds of Deadlock, I think it was. And we were just like, we didn't get in at the very beginning. So we got dumped into a closed beta at a time when people had been no-lifing it for months. And it was just not even a little bit fun until you've, like, watched countless hours of tutorials and know all of the right meta. And you know what? I'll be the first to admit that getting super into a game like that can be extremely rewarding and extremely entertaining. Supreme Commander would be an example of a game that I no-lifed enough and was complex enough that I would say it is comparable to either of those games. You have no equivalent units across up to 4 different races in an RTS. And the maps are so diverse, where they'll reward ground, land, or sea, or in particular, they will reward first one, then the other as you progress through the tech trees of all 3 of them. It is extremely, extremely deep in terms of its gameplay. I get it. It's a lot of fun. But for me, that's not Mario Kart.
Well, there's also
that's not the role Mario Kart serves in my life.
Yeah, there's one of the comments. I think I might have lost it because they didn't tag me. Yeah, so I don't know where I went. But somebody was like, wall riding is slower. Wall riding in a lot of places where they clearly intentionally wanted you to wall ride is slower. Wall riding when you break the map by doing crazy shortcuts and stuff is not slower. That's the part that I'm complaining about. Another thing that I'm complaining about is I liked Mario Kart 8's I played very little of Deluxe, but I'm pretty sure it was just the same game ported to Switch, so I don't know. It's probably the same deal. But I liked Mario Kart 8's drifting so much that it got me, like, interested in drifting, and I watched Initial D and, like, learned how drifting worked.
Oh, that's funny. I actually hated it in 8, and I love it in World.
Oh, because it sucks in World? Is that why?
It's because I only ever played Mario Kart DS, like, a lot. Like, I probably have a couple hundred hours in Mario Kart DS. That's the only one that I've ever played a ton. And the drifting, I fired up Yoshi. I fired up the standard bike, and I was, like, fucking ripping it up. And I'm like, okay, so they just ported it straight out of Mario Kart DS.
Yeah.
So
I guess it's just like a favorite game thing.
I think so.
Hathos also encapsulated another issue that I have, which is like,
hold on.
Cool.
Hathos has another one first. Hathos, so this was the person who I highlighted earlier saying they loved it. Hathos replied, I can't even disagree. I've watched 20 videos to learn how to get better already.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, what were you going to say?
Hathos said it's shortcuts galore with over 200 unique routes between all the different courses. So a practice player will just be unstoppable. However, I don't think most people will ever get there. I know I wouldn't be able to memorize that many routes.
But that's the problem. That completely takes the fun out of it as a casual game.
Yeah.
And I remember having this conversation with Luke back when he was no-lifing Mario Kart 8. Because I was like, dude, you fucked up.
As a wanting to have fun at someone's house game, I did ruin it.
Yeah. It was absolutely no fun to play Mario Kart with him.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yep.
and when you're that good at a team game, like if you're that good at Counter-Strike or something, and you can just put like an equal superstar on the other team or whatever, that's fine.
It's an individual game,
But when it's an individual game, it's all about what Mario Kart is for you. And if you want Mario Kart to be like a sweaty, no life,
And I did
optimization problem, then that's, you know what? Like, that's cool.
All power to you.
It's just, I wish that wasn't what Mario Kart was to me as a kid. And so as like an old man yells at cloud gamer, I wish it was more for me. But it isn't, and that's okay.
And I'm sure some people enjoy it. I don't like that type of sweaty optimization. I often do like sweaty optimization. I just don't like that kind.
Braxa says cough cough super checks. Actually, Luke won our last one or the second last one.
I think it's been a long enough time.
I think we're pretty even again.
Yeah.